My name is Dr. Charles Sinkala, President of People's Convention Independence Party, PCIP. Allow me the latitude to discuss something in our country that is of paramount importance and that we Zambians, we fail to understand. My concentration is basically based on the empirical evidence on how we have conducted ourselves as Zambians towards leadership. Leadership is something that we have to take very seriously in our country as we build up our economy, which is inclusive, irregardless of our diversity, sexist or religion or any political affiliation. Our agenda is to build one united Zambia for everybody to enjoy. The reason why I picked up the topic of leadership, it is simply because we've ignored the fundamental principle of leading. Leadership is born into people's minds and it's developed over a long period of time. Having said that, it is from the background that I have to mention of our leaders who has come and gone and what we have done to support them or have that courage of encouraging them that what they are doing is right, and even when they fall, we must be able to adjust and approach them in the way that is of dignity and respect. That they have fallen, there is actually as a result of ABCD. I mean, infallibility in leadership has been a challenge, and there are very few people or leaders who admit in terms of that aspect of life and leadership. Genuine leadership is actually based on building other leaders, you know, who will take on the baton once their time is up. And this has been misunderstood by those who claim to be leaders in our country. Most leaders who has misunderstood the word leadership on how to lead with wisdom and how to protect our country and our sovereignty, Zambia, has always been misplaced by many, if not most of them, because we do not appreciate leadership. These people who have failed to understand the word leadership or the position leadership in its entirety, they have actually resorted to create followers than to produce leaders. A leader who will always produce followers, you know, is a tragedy. And this has been contributing to the underdevelopment of our country and Mother Zambia. But today is a special day that I have to dedicate my speech to a friend, a father, an uncle, a colleague, somebody whom I've known for a very long time. I was introduced to him some so-called over 25, close to 30 years ago. And over the period of time, he's been more of a father figure or a mentor, should I say. As most leaders have got a mentor whom they look to. And I'm not shy today that I have to mention that his leadership has been of extraordinary. And I can describe him as one of a kind or different kind of leadership that we have ever produced in our country, Zambia. A leader who has come from a very humble family, a leader who has come from a segment that has been of value, of integrity and morality, a leader who has come from the upbringing of good morals, the building and reshaping of this democracy that we are enjoying in Zambia, a leader who's been tried and tested, a leader who once served as a vice president of the Republic of Zambia, a leader who has exchanged his spirit into the sons and the builders of Zambia. I'm not shy because I'm speaking like this, because I'm one of the leaders who has been produced by his leadership and his guidance. And this leader touches my heart very solemnly and very emotionally connected to his leadership and his teachings. He's a kind of a man who has impacted most lives of people. His leadership has been significantly, appreciated around the world. His leadership has significantly been used in most of the teachings which we enjoy today. Now, this man, has been very persistent, on his fight. Not only his fight, but for the fight of the mother Zambia. This man has been taunted, has been tortured, has been incarcerated, has been imprisoned, has been condemned by people. He has been thrown all sorts of insults, all sorts of stones at him. And 1 minute he stands by his wife, and I think not even himself had been admittedly directly, but I can hear the voice of his wife kneeling down to him that you must leave this, you must do this. And he has said no. He believes in God, and when he believes in God, he does not mind the servitude and the pain he endures during the time and this period as pursuing for the betterment and the saving of Zambia. This man, he has actually stood out from most of the African leaders. This man, I can tell the story that having started a political party with him year back 1996, 1997, and there were tripartite elections when I was voted as a shadow minister for defense and security in his cabinet, as well as where I was a candidate for Member of Parliament in Kankoyo constituency. I've stood the time and test, to be tested, and I think I'm worthy to talk about his leadership. This man, over the time when I had to pursue my political and academia outside the country in United States and Switzerland, including South Africa, I've continued and in touch with him. This man has always stood in my life. 5 years ago or 10 years ago or so, we started talking about me taking up a role, a role of political level, and a role of not only being in a political party where I have been after we disbanded the NCC and joined the MMD. I approached him for advice that how is the political space? This man stood by my house there, looking at him, talking. He laughed. He looked at me for the second time. He laughed again, and I could see from his mind what he was thinking. It was not very easy for me to approach him and tell him of my decision that this time I won't vote inside this political party, but I'll vote for my political party, which I stand to form and run for presidency. He was very clear and precise when he talked about it. And he told me the space is there. The space is huge. The competition is there. And he said, I'll support you. You know, the way he came out, he knew exactly what he was talking about, and he knew whom he has produced. My leadership and capacity, he has tested it, and he knew exactly what he was talking about. So there was very little he could say, because the work and achievements I've achieved from his mentorship over the period of almost 30 years was significant, and he could see it from how I've conducted myself over the period. Not only my relationship with my country, Zambia, but the relationship with the international community, where I stand as SADC Business Forum chairperson, as well as international relations consultant. He has tested it. But when I left, this is quite interesting that when I told my executive to register the political party, I told them one of the references I have to put is this man. And some of them supported. They actually said, yes, he's known you from an early age. He's a kind of a person who will give you such a reference that you needed. Other parts, of course, we cannot have everybody happy, or everybody's got their own opinions, and we all respect the opinions of others. This man I'm talking about, he was approached, not really approaching him, but I included him on my CV as a leader of the political party we are registered in from the Register of Society, and many others, including the Prime Minister of Lesotho, whom I've known through him for many years. Surprisingly, one evening after I had supper, and I was like trying to get through my emails, and I received a phone call from this man. This man told me that people are looking for you. And having known my life, moving up and down, talking about the truth, I knew, of course, that I'm not short of enemies I might have created. But what is this which can come from a man whom I admire? And to me, this was very interesting. As we continued chatting there, then he said, these people, they came to his house. I'm not sure if he actually said his house, but they requested to meet him. And it was very important that they do not talk over the phone, and they actually have to meet. And when this man continued explaining, sometimes if you haven't done something, the fear of unknown sends shockwaves into your body. As I was holding my cell phone onto my palm, I could feel that my temperature is rising up, and I could feel that my palm is getting sweat. I could feel that my phone will be slipping off any minute from my phone. But my courage I had, and the trust in this man, that is a man whom I should not have committed or done something wrong. I think what I've done so far, it is all to the good use, and I will stand to hear about that. When he continued, and after he had enough of torturing my mind, and he had to reveal to me that the truth is, Mr. President, Your Excellency, for the first time he called me that, and I had to behave like the way he has described me as a president and Your Excellency. And I had to listen very attentively that the Register of Society of Zambia had to call him and requested his input to give a CV on my charactership and how I've conducted myself, and if I can be a very good candidate for the presidential race. And I'm only human that I thought about it, that maybe what I've done, my decision was incorrect, to choose or depict, despite of or and in spite of our relationship with this man, we are on different political ground and field, and not necessarily ideology. We believe in the same of serving Mother Zambia and the rest of the continent and the world, but we are political opponents. And this was very interesting when I wanted to hear him swallow the words. And I said, yeah, I told them, and in not many words he described the meeting with that, but I realized that he has done something positive, but I could not be 100% sure at that moment, as I was waiting for the approval of the application of my political party, People's Convention Independence Party. And that way I also briefed him that, Your Excellency, it is only that I took you for granted, that you had to learn that I've put you as a referee, to give reference onto my career and my ability and candidature as President of the Republic of Zambia. We joked about it, and time passed, and a few weeks later, following his assurance that they will be coming back to you in few weeks, and I heard the Register of Societies said, accord our Secretary General, Mr. Joseph Chama, that we may go and pay the amount for the registration of the political party. Our application was approved. Wow, to the sigh of relief. I could only give thanks to God at that particular time, that we worship an awesome God, and that God always helps, especially for us who takes chances, and those chances are calculated chances. But this man, my true story I've tried to highlight here, is not about myself, but I've deliberately not mentioned this man. But today is a day that this man has attained the age of 60. This man is Dr. Nevas Mumba. Many of us or others have known him as Dr. Nevas Sekwila Mumba, because of his has been first a televangelist in our country, or in Africa for that matter. He's a man who stood up, by using what the talents God gave him, teaching people. And he has continued. He has continued teaching people. Many has described him as a sellout of leaving the pulpit or leaving the church. I come to not understand the people who has attacked him right front and center, that he has left the church. Dr. Mumba hasn't left the church. I don't know if one can leave the church, because the church is in him. He's using the political platform, as the political platform is the only place that you can change the governance of the Republic of Zambia. Many of us are aware that the church, we might preach in the church, but the morals and the integrity of the people ends nowhere if the leadership of the country is not in the church. Hence, the church has been combined with the political leadership. Hence, Zambia was declared as a Christian nation on the basis of Dr. Nevas Mumba's persistence and pressure to the government, Dr. Mumba, Dr. Frederick Chiluba, our former president, he invited him to State House, and they had a very good relationship. They had a very good relationship, and that relationship, even if we are in two different political parties, I think that relationship has shaped the whole way and the political landscape has. My message to us fellow Zambians is let's say happy birthday to Dr. Nevas Mumba, a leader whom we have to congratulate for having fought for us for many times, and he continues to fight. This man whom I admire so dearly as first vice president to be appointed from an opposition political party in Zambia, unprecedented in the history of our country, as our country has been divided due to political affiliation, ethnicity, and other factors. Dr. Mumba has been a kind of a leader who has demonstrated and has continued to demonstrate the ability of unity for us Zambians all. Let us give support to Dr. Nevas Aquila Mumba as he pursue to take the courage as we go into the tripartite elections next year, 2021, in the race. If need be, if I were to vote for a person besides myself as a candidate of 2021 presidential race, I will take the vote to Dr. Nevas Mumba. Our aim as People's Convention Independence Party, PCIP, has been very clear. We work with any political party which will stand a time on meritocracy, which will stand a time of political hygiene to clean the politics in our country, to clean the politics of hatred, to clean the politics of pockets, the politics of belly, to clean the politics of insults, and to establish politics that will bring Zambia, our mother country, to the heights of how like the China has built over the past 60 years. Zambia has been under construction for many years. Somebody can remember the leadership of Dr. Nevas Mumba can teach us a lesson that we can unite Zambians from all sorts of life. Let's support each other for those who are trying to build the sons and daughters of this mother country. With those few words, I would like to also establish that PCIP is willing and able to work with any political party, those who have the same sound and think tanks, so that we can build our mother country. Let's all congratulate Dr. Nevas Mumba, a leader that has set the standards of our country, a leader that has been tested, a leader who was in government and knew his mistakes, and he has come back again and claim his position that Zambia shall be saved. Let's all join hands and congratulate him on this special day. And also I'd like to assure him, Dr. Mumba, wherever you are, as you are watching, all of us, we are behind you. Your spirit is still reigning. Even if there are those who do not want you to be where you want to be, where God has depicted you, many of us, including myself as an opposition political party leader, I'm behind you. May God bless you and continue blessing your soul and your family in this journey. We shall not retire, but we shall forge behind. It doesn't matter what time you are in your life. At the age of 60, the fight has just begun. I think you need to continue doing those push-ups you've always done with your children. May God bless you all, and may God bless Zambia, our nation. I thank you.